Okay, so I did all of my inking that I needed to do, and basically I'm ready to scan the artwork into my computer. So most of this is actually just going to be screenshots from my computer. So we're going to go over there, and I'll show you the whole process of finishing the artwork and getting it all put together. Okay, so this is my scanning process. So I've got my artwork on the scanner, and what I've done is I've stacked it. I've stacked two panels on top of two panels. So you can see that here. I've cut it apart and taped it like this for scanning. And I usually just kind of select just the parts I'm trying to scan. Um, and then, yeah, let's do it. We're going to do color, 300 dpi. Let's call this Maddie 10.8, which is today's date. Usually just put a date to make it easier. And then I always select this manual. Pretty much the settings are all just as they are by default, but I do have the saturation turned up, and that just makes the whole image a little bolder. So let's go ahead and scan that. And while it's scanning, I can tell you a couple of things that I've done. First of all, I've got this extra line here that I drew, so we'll talk about why I did that. And yeah, I think the inking all turned out pretty well. Again, I'm going to fill in a lot of stuff. Like this whole area will be filled in black. This will all be filled in black. In a minute, you'll see why I did all of this with a blue pencil, and even the graph paper is blue. We're going to make all of that go away. All that blue is going to disappear in just a minute. Okay, so we're going to open up Photoshop and find this file. Okay, so here's my whole process. So what I do, first of all, go to Image and Adjustments and Levels. Levels are going to give me, if you go in here, you can see the black parts are really not as black as they could be, and the white is not as white as it could be. Now I have a setting here that I call Comics. Now when I select that, it makes the black darker, it makes the white brighter, and the blue we're going to get rid of. Okay. So the next thing, go to Window and Channels. This is the way I do it. There might be other ways to do it, but basically I have this channel dialog with RGB. I think this works better when you actually have, I think it works the intended way when you have like a color image and you're trying to isolate those different channels, either red, greens, or blues. But this is how I use it. I select blue, and then I bring it down here to make a copy. Then I hit this, which selects everything that we were just looking at. And I hit delete, delete selected channels, and all I'm left is, even though it says blue, it's actually taken out the blue. Then I'll save it as a grayscale image. So now all of this artwork is black and white. All right, now the next thing I'm going to do, so all the blue got rid of. Okay, go to Image, Adjustments, and then Curves. What Curves does is if you go in here really far, you'll see around the edges there's kind of little bits of gray. So what this does, I have what I call Sharpie black. It's going to make all of these edges really sharp. And you can see the white and the black sliders are pushed close together. So it makes a very nice, sharp, just black and white, no gray at all image. Okay, now the next thing is actually save it in RGB color mode. Even though I'm not really doing a lot of color, it's going to be important that I do that later on. Okay, let's save it. Okay, so now we're going to fill in everything that's supposed to be filled in black. There's some areas that are easy, like her mouth. Oops, I have the wrong color selected. So we want black, of course. You want to do black down here at the very bottom on this color, whatever they call this color spectrum thing. White would be way up here, black would be way down here in the corners. Okay. Now for this little bit here, I'm actually going to select this little bit here, and I'm going to hit Command-I, which is going to invert the color. I don't know if there's any other areas where that would be necessary. Okay, and then I've also got some open pockets here that I want to fill in. So I've got this great brush that I can use. It's a cartooning brush. It's called where is it? Kyle Inkbox Classic Cartoonist. That's what I like. And that may not be something that is preset on your Photoshop tools, but okay. Now that's black. Got some other areas here. Okay, that looks pretty good. Some of these little highlights I'll leave. Actually, let's see. Yeah. Some I will fill in though. Just leave a few. This is all hair up here, and I'm going to have to come in here and sort of connect things a little more so they fill. Now you'll notice it's not completely filled in. There's little gray spots. There's this big shape is left over. But if I go back to Image, Curves, and go back to my preset, all those go away. They get flattened out. All right, so this is kind of a tedious process here of filling in all these blacks and making all of this work. Let's see if I'm lucky and all this is connected. So that one's good. So I think what I'll do is I'll kind of finish filling in those black areas, and then we'll resume after I'm done with that step.